Welcome to the SCM Podcast, business advice and tips with expert guest interviews and with hostess Latrice Carter, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Welcome back to SCM Business Tips and Expert Advice Podcast. I am your hostess, Latrice Carter, CEO of Sisters Creative Media. On today's podcast, I want to talk about brand awareness. Now, why do I want to talk about brand awareness? I want to talk about brand awareness because I want you to give you some tips and advice about how the media can grow your brand awareness. Now, what is brand awareness? Brand awareness can be defined as the extent to which clients or customers are familiar with your distinctive qualities or image of a particular brand of goods or services. So what does that mean? So you have products, or you're an author and you have books. You are your brand. If you're an author, you are your brand, not your book. I want to make that clear. For any author out there, you become the brand for your book, not the other way around. And for those who have a small businesses, your products and your services, those are your brand. You can put a face to that brand by giving your brand an identity. Sometimes some small business owners or entrepreneurs, they will add their face to their products because by doing so, they're becoming the brand because they're putting out a particular image, which is really good. Now, brand awareness is vital with your consumers' behavior, advertising, brand strategy. Your brand awareness plays a significant role when a consumer is deciding on purchasing your products or your services. Have you ever had someone Google your business because they want to see what's being said about you? They want to see what's been written about you. They want to see what reviews are out there about you. They want to also see if there's any bad publicity out there about you. So this is where your brand awareness comes into play. Now, why is brand awareness important to your business or to you as an author? It's important because it helps your business stand out above the competition. It helps build your audience effectively. It also generates leads, which leads are sales. And that's something that you want. The higher your brand awareness, the higher you are most likely to have higher sales, which is good because then when you have high brand awareness, it means you have captured a large segment of your audience that you can sell your products to or your services to. And when you've captured that particular type of market, you have an audience that they are very well aware of what your products and your services are. They're constantly coming back to get your products and your services. That is good brand awareness when you have good media exposure and different other areas where you are getting that media exposure to boost your brand awareness. Now, do you know what brand consciousness is? Well, let me tell you what that is. Brand consciousness is the awareness of a brand as a distinct product separate from others. For example, Pepsi. Pepsi, everybody identifies with Pepsi. That is a brand. When you walk into a grocery store or you go into a restaurant, a lot of times they offer Pepsi or Coke products. So those are brand. Brand consciousness is about image and perception. So be very aware of what your brand consciousness is. What does your image say about your brand? That's a question to ask yourself. Now, having brand knowledge. Brand knowledge refers to the thoughts and feelings and experiences that your customer associates with your brand or your business or your products and services. So, brand knowledge. So, how does your customers feel about your brand, about your products and your services? Have they had a bad experience? Have they had great experience? And they usually leave these nuggets of information when they do reviews, or when they reach out to you, or when they do referrals, when they refer somebody else to your business. That is brand knowledge, because they're expressing their feelings and their thought and their experience they have had with you to others, which is a good thing. Now, it could also be a bad thing, especially if someone comes to them and asks them, have they heard about this particular company, or have they tried these particular products? And if they've had a really bad experience, of course, they're going to give you bad review and a bad referral, which affects your brand consciousness, your brand knowledge. It affects your brand. You know, there are some benefits to utilizing brand awareness. And I just kind of want to go over a couple of them. When you have brand awareness, you are at the top of your customer's mind. So they're aware. They call that top of mind awareness. I was reading an article, and she labeled it top of mind awareness, and I'm using that same terminology, because it's when a client thinks of you first, they refer you to others. It's also when you have brand awareness, when you have a high level of brand awareness, you have increased your clients, and your customers are loyal to you. They are always referring you to their friends and family and others. They may even share your products or your services on their social media, which is very good for you, because that's bringing more awareness to your brand. It gives you an advantage. It allows customers who know you to refer you. And it takes an advantage. It gives a great advantage over your competitors who are not known by anyone. When you have a high level of referrals from customers, and then you have repeat business, repeat customers coming back for those same services or products, that's very good for you. Now, you should be using useful metrics to measure your brand strategy. Now, we'll get into a brand strategy on another podcast, but when your brand strategy is going to examine and review your marketing and promotional strategy that drives your sales, you definitely want to be looking at that, because that's going to help your brand awareness. It also gives you a benefit of having enhanced product recognition. When you have customers who are constantly coming back to you, how are they hearing about your product? Is it that your brand was mentioned on a podcast, or if it was mentioned on radio, or if it was seen in a TV ad, or maybe it was seen in a magazine ad? They're getting your products from other sources, which is always positive. Brand identity helps you also acquire those who might want to invest in your business, especially if you are a startup, you're brand new to the business, and you have a great brand, and you are drawing in those clients, those customers, and you have repeat business, and you're growing. So you may, your brand awareness, if you have a high level of brand awareness, that's going to help investors invest in your business, invest in your product. It opens you up for opportunity to extend your brand and branch out and add new products because have become an established brand. You definitely want to make a memorable impression on your consumers. Now, how can you capitalize and utilize the media to grow your brand awareness? I will tell you how. Media is going to be key to your brand. It is going to be essential to your brand. And I highly recommend these platforms that you take advantage of. What type of media exposure is good for authors, good for entrepreneurs, good for small businesses, good for speakers, etc. It will be doing blog interviews. It will be doing magazine interviews in print, digital, and online format because you have a lot of magazines that are now online only. And getting that exposure and getting featured in one of those magazines is going to be great for you because you want to look at their distribution, where they're being distributed. And if they're digital and they're online, that's a global exposure for your brand. Now, doing podcast interviews is great for you. Doing local radio interviews, doing local television interviews. Also, guest blogging. You can write a piece for on someone's platform, a business platform. You write about what you're an expert in, which is your business, your services, your products. You can talk about your products. You can talk about the benefits of your products. You can talk about how you can capitalize on the fact that this is your business. Nobody knows your business like you. Nobody knows your products like you. You can talk about why you created the products, why you created the service. That is going to draw in a new audience for you that will lead to new customers. Authorship. You have a small business and you're an expert. You are an expert at what you do. The services that you provide, the products that you provide. You can write an ebook. You can write a book about your services. You can write a book about why utilizing your services. You can talk about any particular topic that you are expert in when it comes to your business. You can also guest or even host a webinar describing your services, describing the type of services and how you use your services for your customers. You can highlight a particular customer about what you did for them and how you grew their brand or how you grew their business. Whatever type of services that you're providing, you can capitalize off of that and grow your brand exposure and have that webinar uploaded to YouTube. That is great brand exposure. And creating a YouTube channel showcasing your products, I highly recommend that. People are more visual than they are anything else. And that brings you closer to being exposed to a bigger platform. As you may know, YouTube is a large search engine. People are on YouTube all the time. You definitely want to go where you can capture your audience, go where you can capture a new audience, and being able to step out of your comfort zone and start using other mediums to reach a bigger audience and engage more with your audience, which brings more brand exposure to you as a small business. It brings more exposure to you as an author. What are some of the questions that you probably should ask when you're interested in doing blog interviews or podcast interviews? You want to ask the hostess what's their reach, who are their audience, and you also want to know where they're being distributed, because you don't want to present yourself to the wrong audience, to the wrong market. So that's going to be key. So, don't just look at, oh, I got to do all these interviews. Make sure you're doing interviews for the right market, the right platform. And before you do a podcast interview, you might want to make sure you listen to previous podcasts for that particular platform, so you can make sure that you want to associate your brand with that particular platform. Because if you say, for example, you're a Christian um, author, you don't want to go on a erotica book podcast interview, okay? Because that's your brand. Remember I said authors are the brand, not your book. Your book is not the brand. So, and I think a lot of times there's a confusion where some, they think that, oh, my book is my brand. No, you are the brand. You wrote the book. You are the face that should be on the back of that cover. You're the face that's on the inside of the cover when it's about the author. So you are that brand. Small business owners, you can become the brand, the face of your business, to build that brand. That's something that I did this year. I became the face of Sisters Creative Media because I did that because, one, people know who I am. I am an established brand as an author. I am an established brand as the face of Sisters Place magazine and Sisters Place online platform. So I already have an established brand. So creating my face to be on the business of Sisters Creative Media made sense. So it's little things like that that you have to examine and look at. Um, Magazine interviews, you do want to do magazine interviews. You can do digital, you can do print, you can do the online format. There is nothing wrong with a little Q&A or even a feature article. Now, I will say this. It is not going to hurt you to invest in yourself. For your brand image, you need to have professional pictures, not the bathroom pictures or the hallway pictures. You want to have those professional headshots, because, again, this is your brand. Your image is your brand. Okay? You remember I said earlier that your brand consciousness is the awareness of a brand as a distinct product separate from others. It's about an image and a perception. So you want to have professional pictures so that you represent your brand to its best. You want to put your best forward, because the one thing that you don't want to do is tarnish your brand in media by associating yourself with wrong markets. So grow your brand image. You definitely want to make sure you have professional pictures so that you can bring forth correct brand consciousness. So you want your image to give a perfect, not perfect, but great perception of who you are, so that when someone sees your products or your services and they associate your face with that product or service, they want to know, want to have that fuzzy feeling or that positive feeling that, oh, this is a great brand, it's a great product. We know so and so. You want to have that positive image. And It is going to be key as you explore growing your brand awareness. Media is going to be key for your business. Media is going to be key for your for your books as well. Media is going to be key for being, you're a speaker, you're life coach, whatever it is that you are. Being in media is going to be key for you to grow your brand awareness. Let me know, guys, how you like this week's podcast. Leave your comments and questions in the comment section. Be sure to go over to our group, SEM Community, as well as follow and like us on social media, Sisters Creative Media. I look forward to bringing you guys more tips and advice for digital media, for Sisters Creative Media. I love what I do, and I hope you guys can take away some great tips from this. I will be sharing some tips, some brand awareness tips in the group, as well as throughout the week. So until next time, you guys have a great evening.
Thanks for listening to the show today. Be sure to tune in each week to hear interviews from business experts in the industry. Follow SCM on your favorite streaming channel, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or Google. Don't forget to follow Sisters Creative Media on all social media platforms to learn more about us.